Hi and welcome back to a new episode. Today's episode is about data frames, but not only data frames. We're going to talk about how to use iloc and loc in a data frame, how to access to the information in a data frame using these two functions. Also, we're going to talk about at and iat. Let's see, using pandas and Python. Let's work together. Today's episode is about data frames and using the functions iloc, loc, at, and iat. These functions are going to allow us to extract information or to access to information using index names. What is index name, of course? Well, once we have created our data frame, as we already worked in previous videos, we can access to each observation. That means multiple cells in one line for multiple variables or features. We can access to one cell or to the whole observation using these four functions. Let's see. First of all, we have to load pandas, our main library in this case, and we create our data frame. I am working with a small data frame just for learning purposes, of course, and I'm creating my data frame using a dictionary because this is an easy way to create a dictionary, and we can modify the dictionary and then we can modify the data frame too. And we create our data frame, I print it, and we can have here our small data set that has 3 observations only. And check here some important information. It's about these numbers here, 0, 1, and 2. Of course, those are the identifiers for each observation, but I didn't create them. So Python create this observations name by itself. We are gonna call them index or indices. When I talk about the observation 0, I'm talking about this one here, 1 and 2. As we will discuss in following videos, we are going to change these indices names as I want to, using by definition some names, or we can change one column to one index. But it's gonna be that in future videos. Right now, let's focus in here that we have 3 indices, 0, 1, and 2. How to extract information regarding what the whole observation, only one cell, using the index name. This is the work with syntax. Okay, let's see if right now, using the function index, what do we have for index here? Okay, we have a range function starting at 0 and finish at 3. That means that we have 0, 1, and 2 because it stops at 3, doesn't count. Okay, right now we're going to see the function at and iat. What is the difference between these two functions and iloc and loc? Okay, the difference is that at will be available only for observation, one single observation and one single cell. Check here that we are going to access to, what is this row one? Well, this is the row name and this is going to be the column name. Okay, that means that this 0 is going to be in this observation and I'm going to focus in the column name. So it should print joy. Let's see, joy. Okay, that's for at. And iat, what's the difference between at and iat? Well, this little tiny I means index. So if here it gives me joy using the row's name and column's name, at iat, I'm going to work only with indices, numbers, not names, numbers. Okay, so first is gonna be the row index, and next one, the column. That means that we're gonna print the first observation and the first cell. In this case, as we saw, joy 2. So you can see that's the simple difference between at and iat. If I want to access to a whole observation using at only, let's see, it is not possible. It is not possible because it's missing the column. Okay, it's missing the column. And that's when enters loc and iloc. Let's check another example before going further. We have 1 and marks. Well, at means that I'm going to use that row and columns names. 1 is going to be the second observation in marks column. Let's print it. 70.8. I'm gonna print again, and we will verify it. Here it is, 77.8. And using IAT, we have in the row with index 1 and column with index 2. In this, it's the same information. 0, 1, and 2, 0, 1, and 2, 70.8. That's our result. That's the difference between at and IAT. We also can use other functions to extract information. Yeah, sure. Let's see, for example, get. With this function get, you check that I'm gonna use the data frame first. The data frame, studentDF, get a name. Okay, what it means name? Okay, name is the column. What's going to give you this function name? It's going to give us all the values in this column. That means that all the features, all the information in name, in the column's name. Joy, Nat, and Harry. Cool. Now, let's enter to the main topic here. Is about loc and iloc. As I was saying, loc and at are related. However, at is for observation and cell directly. One cell in one observation. And loc is wider. We can extract information in multiple observations, but using row's name. What is the row's name here? For example, Nat 21 70.8 is 1 because it has the index. And is the same name at the same time. So okay, let's see. Nat 21 77.8 for marks. Okay, as you can see, we extract one observation in the index 1 because it's the same row name. And here 0 to, okay, what is this? Okay, we're going to extract all the information from 0 and 1, and we stop at 2. Remember that that's how Python works. In this case, okay, we go directly from 0 to 2. Why here is including 2? Because it is row's name, as we will see the difference with iloc. As you can see, we extract the whole information here. Okay, and what about if I want to go wider, and instead of using at, I use loc for exploring one single cell. Let's see, we install here and then I say, okay, 1 is the column's name? No. So there's gonna be an error, as you can see. Name. Yes. We can go, that means that we can go directly from loc for using at the same time. Okay, the difference between loc and iloc. Check that it was a row name for using loc. And iloc, we are gonna call this index. That means this is 0 means the index. It means 0 because it's the first observation with index 0. And we have joy and the whole observation, as you can see. In 0 to 2, okay, there is a difference between here and here. Let's see, only 2. Why this one print 3 observation and this one print 3 observation? Because the difference between loc and iloc is about index and index name. This one is about row's name. That means it's going to include the 2. But here we're talking about index, so that 2 is not included. That's so simple. And as I was saying, we can use, instead of at, we can use loc for exploring one single observation or 2. For example, here, let's see. We extract information regarding one observation in the 0 observation, of course, and column name. So it gives us joy as the cell's information. And now 2 observations. Okay, and we have the information in these 3 observations regarding the column name only. And the same with iloc. But as you can see, I use the column's name here. And here iloc, the indexes are 0 to 2, and 0 to 2 are the column's index. What is gonna print this? We will see. As you can see, it only prints 2 columns because it's the column 0 and 1, and the observation 0 and 1 because this is index, so it's doesn't count this number 2. It's where it stops. I understand. Let's make this even clearer. Adding index to my data frame. As you can see, I'm going to use dict, as mentioned before, for making this simpler. I create that dictionary, and now I'm going to add an index. 3 observations, 3 index, with name, as you can see, A, B, and C. Right now, I'm going to print student, df. As you can see, I'm going to print it now. We have the information here. We have now a different row names, A, B, and C. It's not 0, 1, and 2 anymore. So loc and iloc functions are going to be even clearer now. Let's see. Loc. Before we could use the 0 because it was the name, but let's see now. See? Error, because that's not the row's name. And iloc, the index number has changed, not at all. And as you can see, we can extract the first observation in the index 0. However, here 0 is not the name, that's why we cannot use it. Okay, in here, as we previously used, loc 0, 2, and the column's name, only the cells. Instead of using at, we use loc in this case. And for 3 observations, because this one goes from 0 to 2, remember? However, what is gonna be the problem here? That 0 to 2 are not rows names anymore. That's why it doesn't work. But iloc, does it work for iloc? Yes, the rows numbers or index numbers hasn't changed at all. And we print it, yes. The index number hasn't changed. That's why we can print it like this. And as you can see, only the first 2 observations in the column 2. Not in that column 2, this is actually the third position. Okay, so if I use the row's name now, loc, yeah, we're gonna copy this and we will see. Let's see. This one is my observation, A. Let's see. Oh, yes, 85.1 for marks, and name of this observation is A. And now, using the column 2, regarding the cell with information, row's name A, and name, let's see. Yes, it's Joy. As you can see, we're gonna check this, and there it is. You can see A, the observation A, in the column name, Joy. And change for the last example, and I change to H. Voila! As you can see, this is very simple. The difference between loc and iloc, we just discussed this, and it's super simple. If you have any question, any comment, please let me know. Thank you for watching. Hope you will like it, and see you in the next chapter.